Hello and welcome to a session I am calling Sunset Yoga Hangover Fix. You don't actually need to have a hangover to do this session, but let's say you're not feeling 100%. This is a great session to reconnect to your body in a thoughtful and gentle way rather than sitting still and simmering in the discomfort of not feeling 100%. We can let those negative, bad feelings move through our body and eventually out of our body because exercise and movement is very therapeutic and beneficial to our overall well-being. With that being said, you also don't need to have a sunset. It just so happened to be a sunset when I felt this way. So you will need a mat, perhaps a towel, maybe some yoga blocks could come in handy. I also have my furry friend Alice, the lionhead bunny, who's getting some fresh air alongside this session. I am also using some essential oils to help bring aromatherapy into this sequence. I am using a eucalyptus oil and also like an orangey citrus kind of oil. So I am balancing my low-key energy with some energizing aromas to inspire balance into my being. We'll begin in a cross-legged seated position. The great thing about this session is there will be no standing, all lying down or close to the earth. I'm going to put some eucalyptus, 3 drops into my palm. I'm going to take 2 fingers and swirl this around 3 times to activate the oil. And then I'm going to rub my hands together and take a few deep breaths, breathing in. I'm just rubbing the remains of the oil into my temples and into my scalp. And sitting with palms up, eyes closed, tuning in, listening, breathing. We're going to reach the arms up to the ceiling and exhale down to the ground. And when I say ceiling, I mean clouds. Inhale, stretching up to the sky. And exhale, lowering down. Dropping one ear to the shoulder and then the other, alternating, gently, not forcing anything. Just soft and subtle movements being introduced into the body. We're going to keep the ear dropped and add some rotations looking down and up. And then the other side. Dropping the head on this angle and rotating through it, letting go of any neck tension, shoulder, jaw tension, rolling those shoulders up, back, around, and down. Placing fingertips forward, an inhale to look up and an exhale to stretch over the legs. If you can, the forehead drops. This might be a moment to use a yoga block under the forehead. Breathing into the back. Walking the arms to one side, side body stretch for an inhale here. And we'll take it over to the other side. folding over that leg, softening the shoulders, and let the forehead drop, let the neck release, but let the breath stay active. Bring it back to the center, soften elbows. Walking hands back in and slowly coming back up to sitting tall. Let's twist hand to opposite knee, looking behind us. And adding the neck rotation, we'll look forward and look back. Switch sides, sitting tall. And then we'll just add the look forward and the look back. And let's take it into a side body bend. Reaching one arm up and over, softening that bottom elbow down. Checking that the shoulders are not gripping or holding. I'm doing just little pulsation motion here in the side bend. Establish your side bend. And if you want, a little pulsing motion to help release a little deeper. Let go of any gripping. And back to the center. Just moving the towel behind me now. And it's about time that we all lay down, rolling down onto your back, stretching the arms overhead, legs long, interlace fingers, take the arms back up and overhead, breathe into the body. Bend the knees in and let's rock it out side to side. Hugging knees. Be nice and gentle with your body. Stretch the legs up to the sky now. And let's flex the feet and just hold this staff pose. Let the rib cage soften, the legs squeeze together. Bring one knee into the chest and stretch the opposite leg down for knee to chest pose. You can circle the foot. Keep the breath flowing. Let's twist, resting the top foot on the bottom leg. Option to bring the top foot to the floor, to the ground, to the earth. And then you can reach for your bottom leg with that opposite arm for quadricep stretch. Just spending a moment in this twist. Twists are great for digestion and allowing things to move through our body. And then that leg that we were holding in the quadricep stretch is going to fold across the opposite leg into this number 4 piriformis stretch. Holding underneath the leg, and I like to rock this out side to side. I may have forgotten that the mosquitoes are out. And I must take some mosquito measures. We're going to switch sides, knee to chest, drawing that other knee in, circling the top foot, straightening the bottom leg, hugging the knee a little closer. Breathe deeply into the body. Let's twist this top leg over the body. Stretching out that arm into a T shape, looking away from the twist. Chest opener. Option to add the quadricep stretch on the bottom leg, reaching with the opposite hand to the foot. Let go of the legs and hips, let them just drop into the ground, being supported by the earth. And let's bring it back to the center for that number 4 piriformis stretch. So I'm holding on top of the knee this time instead of behind the leg, just a variation. I find this one I feel a little bit more. And I'm rocking side to side, getting that low back massage in as well. Hugging a little closer, a little deeper, more breath. And let's visit the total body stretch again. Lifting one leg up to the sky for that hamstring stretch, pointing and flexing the foot. You can hold hamstring, calf, ankle. You can use a band or yoga strap. Lots of tension in the hips and hamstrings, so spending some moments with our breath connected to movements. Now I'm just rocking a little side to side. It will help release that tension from our body, and with that tension goes other feelings of unwellness. Let's try second side. Hamstring stretch here. If you want, you can bend the opposite knee and bring the foot to the mat. Otherwise, both legs straight, flexing and pointing the top foot. Keeping the foot flexed. And just adding a little sway side to side. See how that feels in the body. Breathe through it. You can also keep the knee bent, both knees bent actually. Just make this your own practice. It's just about feeling better. Let's release that pose, bring the feet to the mat, knees bent. We're going to do a little bridge lift, lifting the hips, the pelvis, the low back, the middle back. I tend to arch my back here, so I'm just doing more of a Pilates bridge where I'm in a neutral position to start. Moving into a yoga bridge, interlacing hands underneath the body, rolling the shoulders closer to each other so there's a deeper squeeze in the shoulder blades, and let's release that down. Coming into butterfly. Reclined butterfly, feet together, rocking side to side, across the low back. Breathing in, breathing out, and let's roll all the way up to a seated position. Going to move into my second oil. Now this one is more of a citrus, revitalizing aroma. I'm just bringing 3 drops into my palm. I'm going to take my opposite 2 fingers and circle that around, activating the properties of the oil and more of the aroma, rubbing together and breathing in deeply. Maybe a little moment of positive thinking or gratitude really goes a long way to shift our energy here. Activating our senses, breathing in and exhale. Let that affect your body, your system, your mind. And yes, going to those shoulders. I'm just taking the residual oil and just placing it, rubbing it across my shoulders. Let's bring the hands behind the head and open this up into a seated back bend. Heart opener. Looking up. And take it into a side bend. Let the head be supported by the hands. Take it to the other side. Try to relax legs, knees, hips. And back to the middle. Hands behind you. And I just brought the towel in front for a little bit of kneecap support here. I'm lifting the hips up into this back bend, and knees are rolling forward onto the towel. Pelvis is pressing forward. Collarbone opening. I'm letting the head drop back. Deep squeeze in the shoulder blades. Those openers are such a great way to get new sensations introduced into your body. Let go of the stagnant energy and welcome in new energy. And just taking slow head rolls side to side. Holding on to the knees to round back. And lift the heart up and arching forward. It's like doing the cat and the cow, but in a seated position. I'm going to move to the side now, using the length of the mat, stretching out one leg into this wonderful side body opener. Brings more space in our rib cage. Lots of tightness in our shoulders and hips that we're going to address by breathing in deeply. I'm just holding the foot with the bottom hand and rotating a little twist towards that leg. And you can be holding on to your knee, your ankle. You can be using that TheraBand or yoga strap. Soften shoulders, let head drop for a moment, and try to find a point of comfort that you can really invest a deep breath in and out. Keep that leg behind you and just twist to the front of the mat into pigeon pose. Press down with the hands to lift up through the heart and chin. And exhale, let's fold forward over that front leg. Stacking the hands and fists and resting the forehead on top. Keep the breath flowing. Exhale and let any negative sensations release through that out breath. If you want to introduce the quadricep stretch here, that back leg will bend. Same side arm will find the top of the foot and pull the heel towards the glute. Drop forehead. Listen to breath. And let your exhale be the way that you release anything that is not serving you to your fullest, utmost potential. Inhale, new breath, new possibilities, new potential. Exhale out anything stale, stagnant, stuck. And just sitting back to the heels for a little moment in child's pose, and then we'll switch sides. Straightening out the other leg, let's move into that side body bend. Also great stretch for the hamstring and inner thigh. Reaching up and overhead. Feeling the weight of that top arm bring you deeper into the stretch, and starting a twist through the trunk of the body where both hands can reach that extended leg. The knee, the ankle, the foot, the toes. Looking down so the forehead is close to the shin or the knee, maybe touching. Relax your opposite hip and knee. And let's release. And coming into pigeon where we just twist forward, keep that back leg extended, but now the knee is down into the ground. Press palms down to lift heart up. Throat chakra opener as the chin is high, looking to the sky and folding over the legs. So there is a reason why this detox session is outside, for the fresh air, for the stars, not for the mosquitoes, but it's also part of the wellness process. Just folding into that front leg. Relax the upper body. Keep the breath full and consistent. And if you'd like to add that quadricep stretch, you can bend that back extended leg. The same side arm reaches back for the top of the foot, pulling the heel close into the glute, and then folding back down again with our upper body. A few moments breath here. We'll slowly start to come up a little higher, releasing the back foot, using the hands to lift the hips, and moving that front leg back into well-deserved child's pose. Hips heavy, and I like the hands very close together to get the stretch on the outside of the shoulder, maybe even in the side body, and I'm even rocking side to side in my child's pose. And we're going to take the arms over to one side. Let the shoulders, neck, and head and forehead be heavy. Switch to the other side. Let the trunk of the body drape over the legs. And it is difficult to breathe here, but try to emphasize the breath. Bring it back to the middle. Another moment centering in the center. I'm going to roll onto the top of my head, so the crown of the head is into the towel. Elbows down, toes curled, just to get that pressure point into all the different sensations in the skull, the head. Great if you're feeling a little achy in this area. And then just release right back down into your child's pose. Bring the hands in and rolling up through the spine. And I'm folding the towel, so knees resting on top, little knee cushioning. Sitting in hero's pose for a little tricep stretch here. So bring that elbow behind the head, holding with the opposite hand. Let the head push into the arm. Get some openness through, again, side body, lats. Maybe you're binding, releasing the hand that was holding to now fold underneath, reaching up for the fingertips. Get into some tightness, tension in our shoulders, upper body. And let's release the other side. Send a few deep breaths in. Maybe add the bind with the hands, with the fingers, wherever you can reach. Try not to rush. Take your time, feel the moments, explore the breath. Let your body recover and embrace all this wellness you're introducing into your being. Let's release that with some shoulder rolls. And then take one big step forward into a lunge. Knee on top of ankle. Let the hips drop forward so we can feel that hip flexor stretch in the back leg. I'm rocking a little side to side, shifting my weight from one hand to the other, if that feels okay. You can always keep it nice and still. I guess I should call this a moonlight session. I did not realize how dark it was going to get so quickly. You can come up higher on that front knee. Hands on the front knee, and then bring the hands back down and let's sit back. So we're straightening the front leg and flexing and pointing the foot. Hips stay lifted. And doing that rocking side to side, keeping the front foot flexed again. Bring it back to the center. And bring that leg back. Let's try the other side, stepping forward into our lunge. Try to let the hips drop forward and down to generate a hip flexor stretch in your back leg. Keep your heart lifted, so not too much rounding in the spine if it can be avoided. Coming up a little higher to that top knee. Breathing in and shifting side to side. Shift the hips back, straightening the front leg, flexing and pointing from that ankle joint. Hips high, spine long, hands support. And breathe into those hamstrings. Shifting side to side from here. So we're keeping our poses a little bit more active. Back to the center. And let's bring that leg back. One more final child's pose, resting forehead. This time I'm resting the hands on the low back. But if that puts too much pressure on your forehead, you can always extend the arms overhead. Or rest the arms by the side. Hands on knees as we slowly roll up through the spine, rounding back into that spinal flexion, chin to chest. And arching the spine forward. Lift the heart and chin. Heart opener, throat chakra opener. And have a seat on your mat. Swing the legs out in front of you here. Bending one knee so the foot comes very close into the sitting bone. Your other leg is straight, foot flexed, sitting up nice and tall. And then option to drop that knee out to the side, keeping the foot down to the ground, or if you like, propping that foot right up on top of the opposite quadricep, thigh muscle. Inhale, stretch the arms up, and exhale, fold forward over that bottom leg. The idea is that the top heel presses into the stomach and starts to help with pressure points, digestion, circulation. Also a deep stretch for that bent knee. Try to stay calm. Grateful for this body that we have in all its various states and stages. And let's twist towards that bent knee. So opposite hand on the knee, and I'm just doing some rotations, palm up, palm down, and then going for a bind, seeing if that same side arm can wrap around the low back and find the top toes. Twist into that bind. Crown of the head to the sky. Flexing bottom foot. And slowly unwind. And just shake out those knees. Let it go. Side number 2, bend that second leg. So knee comes to chest, holding on to the shin. Press the flat foot down as your opposite leg extends, foot flexed. Breathe in. An option to drop the foot down to the ground, knee out to the side, or to prop that foot on top of the opposite quadricep. And pressing hands down just to sit up a little taller, and then folding over that front leg. Reaching for the foot, ankle, shin, or just resting the hands on the mat beside the leg. I have one hand to my low back, to my sacrum, just allowing my spine to lengthen and be neutral as I fold forward, giving me a little bit of feedback on what my lower back is doing. Inhale and exhale, coming up and away from that bottom leg, opposite hand to that knee. And we're just going to open the palm up to the ceiling and down, getting a little shoulder rotation here to allow our shoulder to extend back, wrap around our low back. See if there's some connection. Here I'm actually just holding on to my sock. This side is not as flexible as the other side. So I'm using my garments to help me move a little deeper into the twist. Looking forward, straightening out that bottom leg, toes up to the sky as it flexes, looking back behind me. Twist and breathe. And looking forward, release the arms, then the legs, and bring the bottoms of the feet together into a butterfly back bend. Hands pressed down in the mat behind you. Lift the chin, the chest, the abdomen as heels press in, and then exhale the opposite move, folding forward, allowing your spine to now round over the legs. And I'm just making fists, stacking fists on top of the heels, resting my forehead down so my neck releases, not holding on to the heavy weight of the head. Extending the arms now, folding maybe another little bit more over the legs, over the feet. Walking the hands in and coming back up to sitting tall. Let's pick up those legs into a butterfly balance, get a little bit of core connection here. Balances are great to stimulate our mind. And lowering into a crossed-legged seated position. Hands out to the side, and we will finish the way we started with our round of breathing. Sweeping arms up, inhaling overhead, exhale down to the ground. Soaking up that new energy all around and within, and exhale, releasing and letting go of anything not working for us. Let's bring palms together right to the forehead, to the third eye. To the throat chakra, and finally the heart chakra. Stay for a moment in these newfound sensations. Be with this new body and mind. And palms face up, resting backs of the hands on the knees. I'm just connecting my thumb and middle finger for a mudra. Close the eyes, stay still, just some positivity. Breathe in to the good feelings, the good thoughts. And exhale, release any judgment or negativity. Good job, everyone. Hope you're feeling better. Can roll over those legs, and we're just transitioning up to standing with a downward dog. So hips high to the sky, sink heels. Be upside down in this new view, this new you. Walk hands back. Folding over the legs, shaking out the head, releasing neck. Hands on shins, bend the knees, and slowly take your time, gently rolling up, standing tall. And thank you for joining me. Until next time.